What's up guys, it's Mike here. Welcome back to the vlog, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be addressing the fuel burning issue as well as the hesitation in the idle on my Jeep, my 2001 Wrangler TJ. And if you guys have been following along, then we recently did a full cleaning on the engine internals using seafoam. I've changed the spark plugs, I've changed the starter, I've changed countless items. Check out my other videos if you guys want to see that. So today I got myself a new throttle body gasket. I got myself an IAC or idle air controller, and we're gonna go replace both of those, as well as we're gonna change the throttle positioning sensor. So that should help with the hesitation and the gas burning, because it's burning a lot of gas. So let's go down there. I'm gonna show you guys how you guys can do it too, because it's super simple, and hopefully we can get this thing running good, because it already runs pretty good, but let's get it running like it should. So let's go down there and let's tear it apart. So I actually made a little bit of a mistake earlier. I'm going to be cleaning my IAC and replacing my throttle position sensor. You can clean the IAC out pretty much almost to 100%, so that's what we're going to be doing today to save ourselves some money. And worst comes to worst, if it doesn't fix the problem, then we can go and buy it and replace it. But it's about an $80 part, so I don't want to just go and throw money away. So I've got throttle body cleaner. So let's go rip off the throttle body and show you guys just how easy it is to do yourselves. If you guys look, it's 4 bolts, one there, and one on each side on the other side. So first thing is get your intake out of the way and take off all your lines, or cables, sorry. Now we just move this guy out of the way. And a neat little trick I can show you guys. Pop off the top of your airbox. And you can move it right out of the way for yourselves. You don't even have to disconnect this breather tube. Next, we're going to disconnect these, and they come off a little bit differently. This one pulls forward, just like so. As you can see, there's the inlet, so it goes in and out like that. This one, however, just pops right off of the little ball, just like so. So as you guys can see, everything's disconnected and out of the way. Next thing you want to do before you disconnect your sensors is disconnect your battery. Once you get that disconnected and out of the way. So next thing, before you guys unscrew your actual throttle body, go for these clips. And if you got a little screwdriver like this, it helps a hell of a lot. If you don't, just get something that fits in there in this little section on each of these clips. And you've got your map sensor, your throttle position sensor, and your IAC or your idle air controller. Once you get those off, now you're safe to take off the 10mm bolts. There's 4 of them. So let's crank those off and we're ready to start cleaning this thing. And you guys can see it's already vibrating loose. And there you have it. So as you guys can see, it is pretty dirty in there. Fucking bastard. So as you guys can see, it's pretty dirty in there. A lot of carbon buildup. Now, before you start spraying it down, you want to take all your sensors out. So let's do that first. So once you get your 3 sensors out, remove the housing for the IAC. Now, as you guys can see, it is pretty dirty in there. Lots of carbon buildup. And there is a gasket on here that is flaking off. So I have gasket material that I'm gonna make a new gasket with. But just in case you guys were wondering, yes, it does take a gasket. So let's spray everything down, starting with the IAC. And you don't want to push on this or pull on this. You just want to wipe it down and spray it down. You can move the plunger but don't move the actual probe. You don't want to twist it either. You just kind of want to wipe it off, get all the dirt off. And you guys can see this one is nice and clean on the inside now, and the probe is looking a lot better, but I'm going to give it just a little bit more. And I find if you spray some of your cleaner on an actual cloth or a paper towel, then you can use that to kind of dab it and just wipe off all the little carbon deposits. That way you're not twisting or pulling or pushing or making the probe get out of whack or out of sync, or out of calibration, I should say. So now that this is dry, let's set this aside and let's start cleaning the actual housing for this. Now, there is a little O-ring in here. Sometimes it's on the sensor, sometimes it's in here. Make sure you guys remove this before you start spraying it down so that you don't dry out your O-ring. And then just grab your throttle body cleaner, get it in there, and again with a cloth or with a paper towel or something, just clean off what you can, and you can see a lot is coming out. And use what you got. I was using a socket to get into these sections, but for the bigger sections I'm using my extension and a rag. And as you guys can see, it is nice and shiny in there. So let's clean out the rest of the throttle body, and then I'll show you how to make a gasket real easy. And look how black that is. Like, this thing was long overdue for a cleaning. Make sure you clean out that passageway in there, right here, that leads to your IAC, as well as clean out this guy that connects to your throttle position sensor. And if you remove your map sensor, clean out this tube that leads inside here, because that can get gunked up as well. And just clean everything out with a cloth. Make sure you get that butterfly valve nice and clean. And you can tell you're doing a good job by looking at your cloth. Take a look at this side, guys, and take a look at this side. I've already cleaned out all the crap off of here, but look at all that buildup. Well, it's safe to say nobody's ever cleaned this throttle body out before. But look at these results. It is beautiful. So let's get all the sensors put back. To make a gasket for this guy, what you want to do is get your gasket paper, or I've also heard people using different things. If you're out of gasket paper or you don't want to buy gasket paper, use a cereal box. I'm not recommending it, but I know people that have done it and it's worked for them. So what you want to do is make a template. So to make a template, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of lead or graphite, whatever you want to call it, onto this page so that I can get it on the back there and I can make a stamp. That way it's easy for me to just go and cut out the shape, and I can get all these little inside pieces without having to worry about actually tracing it and then putting it up here and then looking at it through the light and trying to get it properly. This is going to be a lot easier and a lot quicker. Now, once you've made your stamp, clean off all of the stuff that you have on here and cut this guy out with an X-Acto knife, and you're ready to go. There you have it, guys. If you don't have gasket paper, I've heard of people using all kinds of different things. So yeah, I didn't recommend it, but you can do it. So let's go install this back onto the car right now. So now that we have all our sensors reinstalled, we got the map, we've got the throttle position sensor. The last thing to do is throw this guy, the IAC, back inside the housing, and you just want to slip it back in there so that it sits nice and snug, and then make sure that you replace your O-ring from taking it off from cleaning. So as you can see, my O-ring is right here, seated back down, and just like so. Now let's replace these two screws here. So just tighten everything up nice and snug, not too tight because you don't want to break anything. It is a plastic sensor. We get our gasket, and the tip for holding your gasket in place, put a couple of the screws in, then it just hangs there, and you can line everything up as you want. So snug everything up by hand, and then just give it a little bit with the ratchet just to get it tight, but don't go crazy once again. And I know that my gasket's not the prettiest, but at least now, looking at it every single time under the engine bay, or under the hood when I'm looking at the engine bay, I'll know that I did this job and that it's done. You get them all tight by hand, grab your ratchet, and just tighten them down in a crisscross pattern just a little bit until they're snug. Now that we've got all the sensors, we can throw the new gasket on and replace the throttle body. Seat all the bolts, grab your trusty 10mm, every mechanic's best friend, and once again in a crisscross pattern. Alright, now that we got everything tight and everything is nice and shiny in there and nice and beautiful for us, damn, plug in all your sensors. And don't forget to reconnect your throttle cables, or your throttle cable and your spring. Replace your intake tube, and don't forget to clip your air box back in. Don't forget about the one guy back there either. And connect the battery. And while I'm here today, I might as well throw on some battery protector, because we're gonna be going into some moisture and all kinds of mud and all kinds of crap with this Jeep. So let's protect the terminals from getting that nasty corrosion on there and that nasty like fuzzy looking stuff. Well, only thing left is to close the hood and start it. Hopefully it starts. Well, moment of truth, guys. And the RPMs seem to have settled. It's not idling out of control, so that's a good sign. No check engine lights, and everything seems to be in order. Now I'll let it warm up for a bit, we'll see how it runs, but the next step is going to be to go for a longer drive and see if it's still burning a lot of fuel. So it's a little late today, but first thing in the morning we're going to go for a nice long drive, so I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, it's the next day, guys, and it's finally bright outside, so we can go out there and test this thing, because I know that it's supposed to burn less fuel and we're supposed to be getting a better idle. So yesterday after starting it, it was idling a lot better, but let's go see how much it's burning. We're not going to really be able to tell until we drive a couple tanks through it, or at least a full tank. So today's just going to be a test to see if it's running well, to see if I installed everything well, and to make sure that the sensors are reading right and we don't get any check engine codes. And I was going to do it for you guys last night, but since it was already nighttime and it was dark, I wouldn't have gotten some great footage. So today's going to be a lot better on camera. Let's hop in the Jeep and let's go for a ride. And on another note, I got my rock straps. So these are going to be going on the Jeep to hold the traction boards or traction mats onto the spare. Now, if you guys watched a couple videos ago, I tried to mount them to the roof and I did that successfully. But I want to mount them to the spare. I think that's going to be a lot better mounting position. That's going to be something that's going to be more permanent. And if you guys want to see that, I'll be mounting them probably later today or tomorrow. So look out for that video. It's going to be coming up on my channel soon. For now, let's hop in the Jeep and let's get going. And shout out to Street Speed 707 for these awesome key tags. If you guys don't already follow his channel, check out his channel. He's got some awesome car content as well. Well, it's warming up and everything looks good. No check engine lights. It's idling nice and steady. It's actually idling really nice, right about 600 or 550, I would say. And yeah, that light right there is for the e-brake, in case you guys were wondering. You know, the only thing I can say is I've actually really enjoyed working on this thing. Like, more than I thought I would. I actually really enjoy it. It's fun, it gives me something to do. It's not hard, and it's rewarding because at the end of it, you have something to show for it. You have some results that are in front of you, and it's not like you did your work for nothing, right? And a lot of these jobs are really simple and really easy, and they don't cost much, so you guys can do them yourselves at home. I hope that my videos help you guys go out there and work on your own vehicles, even if you're not doing the same jobs that I am and following along with me. It'd be nice just to know that I'm helping somebody out, like, go out and get the confidence to work on your own vehicles, because it's actually a lot easier than you think. It doesn't take much, so just try it. Go out there, grab yourself an old car, grab a project, and just try working on it, because it's actually really rewarding. It's really fun, and you'd be surprised at how capable you are when you actually go and try to do stuff, because a lot of the things that I've done on this Jeep are things that I've done for the first time, I've never done before, and they've just come out. So yeah, but enough of me talking, let's get back to driving. Well, so far so good. Everything's running great. No weird stuttering or shuddering or weird noises or lights on the dash. So far so good. Looks like I plugged everything back in properly and I cleaned everything decently enough that the Jeep is running, and we'll see after a little bit more if it's still running. So let's keep driving. Well, 20 minutes in, still running. We made it back home. No check engine lights, no nothing. So everything looks like it went well. All the sensors were installed properly. Nothing's acting up, and I will let you guys know how it's burning, how much it's burning actually, and I will give you an update on that as soon as I have a better answer. So I'm gonna run a couple tanks of gas through. Jeez, it's bright. Let's go inside. That's a bit better. So I will run a couple tanks through, let you guys know what I find. But honestly, it seems like it's been running great, and I think that we did a good job, and hopefully it's gonna improve. So like I said, guys, hopefully my videos will inspire you guys to get something done, get some kind of project going or something, because trust me, it's a lot more rewarding than you think, and you got a vehicle to drive at the end of it, something to play around with, something to mess around with, something to make mistakes on and learn on. So get something cheap and just play around. So once again, guys, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like these videos, because I've got a ton more coming your way, as well as a lot more off-roading, because it is getting warmer out and we're going to be off-roading the crap out of this thing. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, leave me a like, comment down below what you liked about it, and let me know if you guys have any trouble or if you guys need any tips. Then definitely ask me a question. But until next time, guys, ride safe out there. Peace.